Hello.
Hello there.
And welcome to the meeplepeople.podcast.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Sam.
And yes, today we're going to be talking about Kickstarter.
Something a bit different. We're going to be having more of like a general discussion and focusing on separate games. We'll do a bit of that. But
yeah, we'll have hopefully an interesting and informative discussion. And on that note...
the theme tune.
Oh yeah.
And into the news straight away.
Fantastic. Do you want to go first this time?
I will.
Absolutely.
Now, it wouldn't be the podcast without some Monopoly news.
Oh, Monopoly.
Now, a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, just over that.
I believe it was our last podcast, possibly.
Maybe. Oh, geez, was it?
Possibly?
I don't
Or maybe
know.
it was that the one before.
It was the first time we live streamed, I think. Anyway, we did a vote. You voted for your ideal Monopoly set.
Yes, I can't remember what I picked, but I know that
I don't remember
the
what
one I
you
forgot
picked.
was sliced bread, and I really hope sliced bread made it.
Now the results have been announced. So
See, I saw a news article. I'm not going to say about it because it said the thimble was going, and I was like, oh, okay.
Great.
It doesn't really matter.
Anyway, here we go.
Okay, we've got them. Right, what are they? I'm excited. Okay, what do we have?
So coming in to the standard lineup.
Okay, standard.
So, well, first of all, what's gone out? The
Okay.
boot. It's gone. Who needs
That's a
boots?
shame. Okay.
The wheelbarrow. Gone.
See, I don't think I ever played with a wheelbarrow, so I'm okay with that.
And you are correct. The thimble.
Nah.
It's out. It's out. Who
Yep.
cares about it? It's gone.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
still got the battle shirt. We've still got cars. We've still got dogs. We've still got the hat. It's in.
Seriously?
Yep. New things. Right,
Okay.
we've still got the cat, is importantly. And that's like apparently a
that's
standard
staple
Monopoly
now,
piece now
apparently.
for
Yeah, okay.
some reason. But we have 3 new pieces.
It's only 3.
Only 3?
Oh, man.
We have
Is one of them sliced bread?
the rubber duck,
Oh, yeah.
which is nice.
I like it.
It's cute.
I like it.
We've got a penguin. Yeah.
Hey.
And a T-Rex.
Okay.
So,
Not gonna lie. Little disappointed they didn't go for anything a bit more inanimate
yeah.
because they're all animals.
And with that, I'd happily say let's stop talking about Monopoly because that has no effect on an actual board game, which is not what the podcast is about.
Controversial. Also, one thing, this has almost become this running gag that we're talking about. We're going to play Monopoly. We're going to play Monopoly one day, and we haven't done it yet. But the
Thing
reason
is, though, Monopoly is the most up-to-date game I know about. That not up-to-date. It's the game I know most about because I'm looking for the Monopoly news.
Yes, I know.
Like, you want to know the state of Monopoly? I'm your man.
Yeah, we can rattle you off some things about Monopoly. But no, actually, we were thinking about possibly thinking about days of maybe doing a little bit of live streaming, playing some games. So it might be that we end up doing it. We end up playing Monopoly, live streaming it, so you can see our reactions in real time. Or it just becomes a running gag that one day we will play it, but it is never that day.
Anyway,
I don't know.
it's awful. Right. Next thing.
Right,
Next
me.
thing on the list. We're
Okay.
rattling through the news today.
Okay, Spilda Yaris winner of 2016 Codenames has spawned several sequels. It spawned Codename Pictures, Codenames is it Undercover?
Adult code name?
Yeah, basically adult
That's the one,
Codenames. It's
yeah.
either Undercover or After Dark or something like that, which is naughty Codenames, so they've got the words like boobs in there. But and they're bringing out a 2-player version. They're bringing out called Codenames Duel or Duet.
Cool.
Duel, which again, two-player Codenames. Fair enough.
That'd be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you could kind of do it if you just have to remain
Yeah.
completely biased to stuff. And
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple of changes. I think it's all right game.
I like it. I don't think it's a game of the year type thing, but hey, it's nice enough.
But we'll come to that in another episode. But Codenames has partnered with Disney. And so that means we're getting more games. We're going to get Codenames Disney, and we're going to get Codenames Marvel, apparently, as well. Oh, sorry, no. Disney, Marvel, and Disney Pixar. They're actually making a noted difference.
And Star Wars eventually, because that's money.
Yes, of course.
I don't know why that hasn't been announced yet.
Give it time.
It will happen.
But yeah, it's going to be art, but that's
cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's good for them that they're getting the game out there and things.
Yeah.
And obviously, they've got this because it was the Spilda Yaris winner. But to be honest,
I think the base game is, or even pictures. I mean, I haven't played pictures, but I know it's, I've seen people play it, and it seems to be just the same except with pictures and a bit more abstract.
Yeah, like I like the game occasionally, but I don't know. Just looking at what else came, it was 2015. It wasn't last.
No, it won last year's.
It was last year's.
Yes.
Okay. Looking at what else came out though, it's like, is it?
But
like,
it was against Karuba and Imhotep.
But then, like, Spyfall got special mention.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Spyfall over Codenames every day.
Personally, yeah, I would agree with you for that. I know there are some people who really don't like any of those games, but that's just their problem. For me, I would agree with you. I think Spyfall is a better game than Codenames.
Well, if I get the chance to play one of the themed versions, hell, why not?
Yeah, I'll give it a chance. It's not like I'm going, I'll never play it again. It's just going, given the opportunity, I don't know if I'd play it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I wouldn't leap to the chance.
Well, that's a thing.
That's just
there you go.
Exactly. It's just
Next news story.
Right. You got another one?
I don't. Apart from stuff like New Wave of X-Wing was announced.
Oh, of course.
That kind of news.
Yeah, Wave, and they've also announced Star Wars Armada as well.
Yeah, the New Wave of Armada. That's a thing. They look nice. I'm falling a bit out of love with X-Wing, to be honest.
Oh, whoa! Let's slow up here. What?
It's just the competitive side of the game.
Is it basically turning into list building?
No, completely. Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day and made a very good point about the fact that the game no longer, like when they're talking about like worlds and the tournament scene, they don't mention player names. They just talk about this list got into the top 10 and things. It's like, well, at what point does it become about the person playing the game? Is the game just playing you then, in a sense? Like, I don't know.
You are just...
I'm looking into playing some other mission and the campaign stuff with a friend, so maybe that's going to be better.
The idea that you're just you're just a vessel for which the list can become used. Just kind of sounds
I just
useless.
found it a bit, I don't know. But
yeah.
I think it's Wave 11. It's not.
Yeah, it's Wave 11. I think Wave 6 has just been announced for Armada, is it? And that's
something like that.
Hammerheads and...
Yeah, it's just two ships, isn't it? But I really like the look of the Hammerhead model, to be honest.
I mean, I like the Hammerhead in Rogue One. It was a cool ship.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's another piece. Okay, another one. Max Temkin, one of the co-creators of Cards Against Humanity, Cards Against Humanity is infamous for their publicity stunts. Things like crowdfunding the digging of a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see their Super Bowl advert?
No, I did not.
Okay, so this is news then.
Okay.
This can be news. It's a bit old. So they put an article up just after the Super Bowl because they paid for some advertising.
Oh, geez. Oh, how much? Yeah.
During the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's Cards Against Humanity. They've got
I know.
tons of money.
I know, they've got their subversive... they've got the subversive element.
Yeah, I don't think they ever thought it'd be in a game they retire on, but it looks like they can.
Well, I remember they bought a lot of money for like Black Friday. It was like, just give us money, and then they said how we're going to spend all that money, and it was like 10 or 12 members of the team. Like, this is how they're spending the money. It was like huge bags of chocolate and like some armor made for them or something like that.
Oh.
Just stupid stuff.
They also had a pack which was...
Yes, I knew about...
you buy an island. Basically, whoever buys this pack or funded this expansion got use of a private island on a lake. It was just like a small piece of land. It wasn't like a private island.
Yeah, but it was still... I know there was the infamous one where I think it was a Black Friday sale, and they were like, oh, this is the bullcrap expansion. And they were like, oh, give all this money. And they sent people literal piles of bullcrap.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
Anyway, so the Super Bowl thing, thing was... read the article afterwards, and I'll tell you what the advert ended up being.
Okay.
Apparently they paid this, I suppose, marketing company, promotion company, advert company to put together a big ad campaign for them. Prime advert slot, the biggest advert slot probably in the world.
Yeah, it is. Most expensive, at least.
Yeah. And it was always things that they just didn't feel was the right path to go down. It was like, did we just show people playing Cards Against Humanity and then just, do like a shock advert like the game kind of is and things like that? And they couldn't decide it. And it got down to like something stupid, like 3 days before the Super Bowl, and they had nothing, yeah? So they wrote the word advertisement on a potato, filmed it for 30 seconds, and just aired that. And And the whole article was basically, yeah, we feel we kind of messed up on this one.
You think, Sunshines?
It was just really weird. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. Personally, I think it's the kind of thing that doesn't really need.
No, it doesn't. And
That
to be
kind
fair,
of advertising?
it speaks completely to the subversive element for of Cards Against Humanity. But at the same time, it's just like I understand you're trying to be different and that you had a runaway success, but it's just it's that kind of thing that makes you kind of go.
It was an interesting one to read because it was them kind of saying, "Yeah, we just made a stupid decision, basically." Anyway, Secret Hitler.
Oh yes, so one of the co-creators, Max Temkin, has made this game called Secret Hitler,
which I hear is actually pretty good.
It's not bad. It's social deduction, secret identity, cardboard game kind of thing,
which I like.
I don't know where you can get a copy, but I know a lot of guys of gaming.
It was a Kickstarter thing?
It was a Kickstarter,
Linking in with the theme of the show.
That's amazing. But a lot of guys, a lot of the co-optional podcast people online, they've played it on Tabletop Simulator and they broadcast it, and it was interesting just seeing people's reactions. It was all right game. But this man, Max Temkin, has sent a copy of Secret Hitler to every US senator.
Which is great.
Which is quite impressive. It's ballsy, and recently, I think just before the election, they brought out a little sticker you put over the dino Hitler, because Hitler is a secret dinosaur. And instead it's Secret Trump.
Nice. No, I like that. See, that's the kind of... Because that is advertising.
Yeah, but it's...
It's doing something to get free promotion in the form of a news story.
Oh, God.
And I think that's the kind of thing that they should be doing and not just write an advert on a potato.
Yes, apparently...
But they can do what they want, I suppose. It's their,
yeah, they sent this letter. Although our game takes place in 1933 Germany, we thought you and your staff might find this game relevant as you negotiate the balance of power with the White House. Well then.
It's nice.
Yeah. Do you know about the game kind of thing? Do you know much about it?
Not much, just about the whole hidden role deduction game.
Yeah, kind of. It plays,
which I really like.
But it plays between about 5 and 10 people. So everyone gets given a secret role. So you're either a liberal, a fascist, or Hitler. Mm-hmm. Now, it's something like Hitler. The liberals don't know who anyone is. Hitler doesn't know who anyone is. But the fascists know who their teammates are and who Hitler is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there's that kind of extra sneaky... So liberals don't know anything. Political joke there. Hitler doesn't know anything. But the fascists know who Hitler is and who the other fascists are. Mm-hmm. And then it's working together, and there's a president and a chancellor, which is a kind of... It's that kind of thing like the resistance that goes around the table and says, I'm going to pick this person to go with me, or this person to do the thing. But then the president draws his policy cards, which are either fascist or liberal policies, passes 2 to the chancellor, so they could, and who must enact one of them. The policies can either be liberal or fascist, and the discarded ones aren't revealed. Mm-hmm. And so basically, if you play fascist policies, it'll allow you to basically end up taking out other players from the game. Yeah. Which is, can be interesting.
And is it kind of like...
the liberals win if they enact...
The resistance in the fact that you're trying to get your cards through.
Basically, yeah. So, basically. So the liberals win if you enact 5 policies. Mm-hmm. So there's a little track. It's like 5 or 6 policies. Yeah, 5... The liberals win. 5 liberal policies go through, so 5 liberal cards, or they kill Hitler. But they can only kill Hitler by enabling fascist policies.
Yeah.
Because it'll allow assassination. The fascist team win if they enact 6 fascist policies. The liberal policies do nothing, but the fascist policies let you do things. So that's a little balance for the game.
I really want to play it. Whether that's over Tabletop Sim, or we find someone with a copy, or we find a copy.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm sure we can find it on Tabletop Simulator, and we can get a couple of people together and have a game of it.
No, I'd like to.
It
sounds like the kind of thing I really, really do like.
Just a bit of shenanigans.
Deduction games are great.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And it was a game that was nicely tied from Kickstarter, which means we can actually lead on to our news.
not onto our news. Onto
Onto
the
our
main
I'm
segment.
so sorry. Yes, the main segment.
Professionalism. Can't get it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Onto the main section.
Yes.
So, Kickstarter. It's a world that has obviously kind of started to dominate the tabletop industry in a way.
It pretty much has. I mean,
I'd say there's very few companies out there, apart from the big names, who are just putting out games.
But
now.
even big names. I mean, look at something I spoke about a couple of weeks ago. Steve Jackson Games is bringing out, Kickstarted Munchkin Shakespeare, which met its target. I mean, of course it would, because they said it was the one fans had asked them for most for ages, and they went, well, okay, we'll Kickstarter. If you want it so much, you can Kickstart, and they got it. Of course they did.
But I think it's really interesting that this is the way kind of the industry's going.
Yes.
Just whilst we're recording this, we've got the Kickstarter page for board games up. Can you just quickly click the board game called Not My President, please?
Yes, there's a game called... it's called... it's Not My President, the board game. A political-themed game of social deduction. Which one of your friends is a Trump supporter?
Okay, so it's literally what we just talked about.
It is quite literally. It sounds like Secret Hitler, except
anyway.
It's 25 days to go, 35% funding.
Anyway, so the idea, if you don't know behind Kickstarter, we'll quickly just kind of explain it. The idea is you put up a project online. In this case, we're going to be talking about board games. So you say, I've got this board game, I want it to get made, and you kind of show it off a bit on the page, and people can fund it. And so you ask for something like 10 grand, 100 grand, whatever it is you need, and then you've got a month.
Yeah, 28 days, I think, something like that.
To raise that money. And it seems like this is the way board games are getting funded now.
Okay,
it's not pre-ordering. It's basically essentially...
I'm going to say this, and this is going to be this is possibly a controversial statement, and I don't really give a crap. While there are some... I think it's a given that while there are some companies who, they're small indie companies, and they'll be creating this game, and they need support, and they want, help and just gauging interest, and it's a good thing. There are those who will seek to exploit the system, and it's almost a sensationalist statement, but it's almost at the point where the pre-order culture that is so prevalent in, say, video games nowadays has bled over into tabletop games in general. Right? Not just board games. I'm talking role-playing games.
No, completely, yeah.
I
think it's very prevalent in role-playing games.
Absolutely.
More so, I think because they're almost...
I would disagree. I would say board games even more so because because obviously the main thing about stretch goals. Because if you're
coming up with expansions,
because if you're coming up with expansions or or extra models that you can only get there, or extra cards you can only get in a certain place, it's there's a degree of exclusionary. No, it's kind of exclusionary, but
yeah. So generally, there's different tiers you can fund. So you can pay £50 and get the base set when it comes out, or you can pay £100 and get the base set and all the stretch goals that Jamie mentioned, which are basically like little expansions and little add-ons that they'll add once they reach certain amounts of money,
or it's extra art or something like that that's only available for Kickstarter backers,
or deluxe edition,
or deluxe editions,
or even like you spend £100 and you get 3 copies of the game where that would usually be £130 in stores or whatever it is. And yeah, it's kind of pre-ordering before a pre-order in a sense.
No, I mean it is pre-ordering, but it's in the sense that you are pre-ordering it. You're pre-ordering a game that's kind of in development, really. Yes.
And my stance on this is that I'd only kickstart a game if I knew a lot about it. Like a lot of things that they're doing at the moment, people who are really on it with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They're releasing the rules booklets, maybe even before the Kickstarter started.
Yeah.
Lots of how to play videos. Everything's... Now, this is actually where it gets a bit odd. You're seeing like... We're going to get on to Call Me or Not, who are very big.
We're going to get on. I mean, they are pretty much almost the granddaddies of, not granddaddies, but they are the company in vogue, especially for Kickstarters right now, because I know not every game, but the last 3 actually major games that Call Me or Not have been doing have been kickstarted.
And this is what I like. So they're of the culture of basically giving the public everything they want to know about that game before the Kickstarter goes live or during that Kickstarter, yeah? So they're very on it with keeping you updated and saying how the game's going, and this is how the game plays, this is what it looks like, these are the pieces. But basically, they're showing you a complete game, and for a company that is that big, it's kind of like, well, you've got the money to just put this out.
Do you want to talk about Cool Mini or Not right now? Because we'll
go on to it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Cool Mini or Not. I mean, they've been doing quite a few games. I think it's based in Atlanta, Georgia. The game that kind of brought them, the first big Kickstarter that brought them to prevalence. Eric Lang, who is actually in a subsect. Eric Lang has now been hired by Cool Mini or Not. Previously, he was was Zombicide. Zombicide was Cool Mini or Not, and it was. Sorry,
and it was a Kickstarter.
Sorry, I don't know why I completely
That was
forgot
the first kind of big one, I think.
Yes. Sorry, Cool Mini or Not was. Zombicide was one of their big ones, and again.
Oh no! Wait a minute. It's not Cool Mini or Not.
Oh, it's Guillotine. But
we're very unprofessional.
I don't know why. Sorry. Completely.
I would have sworn it was Cool Mini or Not. No, it is. It is. Yes. It is. And I'm very sure it was kickstarted.
I think it was.
And this is something we're seeing actually. Big box board games, because I suppose they are a lot of money to make. Big miniature counts and things like that. You're seeing a lot of that through Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
Purely to kind of get that money before, companies do one or two demo copies to show people.
I'm not going to lie. I'm sure they are, there's some good, intentions behind it, but it looks like a lot of people are going, well, look at the minis. Look how cute look at these minis. Look how good these minis are. Look how many minis you'll get.
Completely, yeah.
But yeah, so you had Zombicide, which was the massive one, and then last couple of years they had Blood Rage, Eric Lang. Eric Lang has now been hired the past week or two as head of design at Cool Mini or Not. Previously he was freelance. Now he's cool. Now he is.
Now I want to look into this a bit more. I don't know if
as of April he is being.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find the answer I want, but basically I want to I think it's great that he's now head of design for a big company. He's doing great things with Cool Mini or Not, and he's getting great reviews for his work.
Yes.
And he's a fantastic designer.
He is.
However, I just want to know if this move, him having the full-time position at Cool Mini or Not, is going to mean that he can't do the freelance work he's been doing. Because for me, that would be a real shame.
Yeah.
I think he's a great games designer. And, just out of the stuff I've got, XCOM from Fantasy Flight, it's a fabulous game. Even he did Dice Masters.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Which, it's only a small game. It's a competitive dice building game based on the Marvel property mainly, but a few other things. But that's a nice, small game. And I just wouldn't want for this position to kind of take over him being able to create those kind of things.
Who knows? He might just be. It might mean he can still produce these things.
I'm really hoping so.
Yeah, no, I hope so. So Blood Rage, which is the big, basically, Norse mythology smash up of people. They asked for $50,000. They got $905,682. And they had only two. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. It's March the 2nd to March the 17th. It was funded in 15 days. Oh my gosh, it's actually 2 years, just over 2 years to the day that Blood Rage got funded.
And also, it's worth mentioning, though, we say that's 2 years ago, but the game only came out last year.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of Kickstarter, I suppose, you're paying for a game that hasn't been made yet.
Pre-order culture.
You're giving them the money so they can actually go out and start producing this game, mass producing this game. So really, once something's funded, it's about a year usually, isn't it? 6 months to 6 to 12 months.
6 to 12 months, yeah.
Before you're going to receive, that product, whereas like a normal pre-order, last month, I pre-ordered Yamatai from Days of Wonder, and that comes out in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I am. I'm
good.
I'm just coughing a bit.
Don't worry about you. Don't worry about it. And of course, this year we have another high-profile Kickstarter, which is their pseudo sequel. I mean, it's got nothing to do with.
It's a spiritual sequel.
Spiritual successor, which is Rising Sun. Can you guess where it's set, Sam?
Feudal Japan.
Yes,
No?
mythology-inspired,
Cool.
sort of, feudal Japan, legendary feudal Japan. Now, this went up just over 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. They wanting $300,000 for the thing. It's 3 to 5 players. Again, Legendary Feudal Japan, different clans with different sculpted minis. Apparently, it's a bit more diplomatic than Blood Rage, in that there's a tea ceremony at the beginning of every.
I haven't actually
round.
looked at the miniatures for this. I'm going to have a look. See, again, there's that word again. I haven't looked at the miniatures for this.
I know. It's. Yeah.
Which is something we talked about before, when we talked about Labyrinth, the board game, the whole fact that in the box, the miniatures are on show and it's saying collectible miniatures and things. It's like, what are you selling the game on?
Yeah.
So it's something to look out for.
Just looking at the board game geek page. The fact is, Rising Sun is ranked 4,199th in best board games. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's got a rating of 7.3.
It's a rating of 7.3, and I think the people who have played it are going to be people at conventions.
Yeah, can we find out if it has been played? Like, obviously, it's been shown a lot of places.
It has been played, because
Cool.
I know a couple of the Dice Tower guys have played it.
Awesome. That dragon is amazing, though.
Some of the... I'm not denying...
Fair enough, the miniatures are amazing, but that's the thing. This is a company who don't necessarily need Kickstarter, though. That's what I'm trying to...
No, yes. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. We've had a comment from on our Facebook Live, which is the minis are by an ex-Games Workshop
artist,
sculptor.
Yep, by a man named Adrian Smith, who actually has also been hired by Cool Mini or Not again. And let me get one thing straight. We're not knocking the design of games or anything like that, because, again, they look bloody beautiful. I mean, they look amazing.
But this is another point, like, I don't know if we brought it up when we talked about miniatures games, but I think they're definitely coming away from it now. But we talked about miniatures and things having nice miniatures. Look at Games Workshop. They're definitely coming back into being a forerunner in tabletop gaming, which is great. They did sink for a bit, I reckon.
No denying.
But with the new CEO, they're bringing out a lot more standalone games, and they've just announced a competitive game with organised play support and stuff.
Yes.
Whereas a few years ago, were they a games company or were they a miniatures company? Were they a models company? It's kind of drawing that line on: are we producing miniatures here, or are we producing miniatures that you can play a game with it, but it's about the miniatures?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just want to be careful with that when we're looking at Kickstarter games, and especially a company like Cool Mini or Not, where they do invest a lot of time and money into creating those pieces, which fair enough look fantastic. It's just, does the game hold up? Yeah. I reckon it completely will. I haven't played Blood Rage. Really do want to play Blood Rage.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just getting a hold of it.
No, completely. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things where you hear it comes. It was like Scythe for a little bit. It was like it's come into like stock in a shop, and it's just like you got to get down there in like minutes, otherwise it's going to be gone. As a supplementary piece of news to Eric Lang being hired as head of design, Adrian Smith, of course, who was talked about, he's been hired as well as lead artist. Just it again, the news from Cool Mini or Not's website is he's John Team is lead artist. It doesn't say anything specific. It is lead artist. That's interesting, but again,
I'm interested now then to see, with Eric Lang on board,
and Adrian Smith.
Not having just created big board games before, that's not like his speciality, I'd say. He's a very varied game designer, and that's what I really like about him. But through Call Me or Not, he's made big box board games.
Yes.
Yeah. And now we've got a guy who is a professional,
artist.
well experienced in sculpting and producing miniatures, very fine detail miniatures.
Don't know if Adrian's...
So what way are Cool Mini Not going with these decisions? Are they going towards more, big box, long form board games?
But then again, at the same time, you see this...
Obviously miniature heavy, it's Cool Mini or Not, there's always going to be
You see the success they've got from it.
Yeah.
So, you can kind of guess what might, they lead toward. But my point, sorry, one second.
That's right.
It's Rising Sun Kickstarter has one pledge level. Usually you've got a host of them.
Which I really like. This is one thing I do love about this Kickstarter.
It has... there's the traditional... You can make a pledge without a reward. So you can give like $50 or 50, and they go...
Well, as much as you want. You can give 50,
as much as you want.
50p if you want.
But
I think it's £1 minimum.
But they have one pledge level, and it's because it's America, is $100 or more. One, and that will get you the game, all unlocked stretch goals, and an exclusive monster for $100. So, doesn't talk about shipping. It's going to be about.
So that's just over £80. So I reckon if you're in the UK, that's going to cost you £100.
That's going to be just over £100.
So it's the box game and just all stretch goals.
Box game, all stretch goals, and an exclusive monster. Again, there's that sweet little
there's
spice.
that whole buy it now and you get all this for free. A game like that, I imagine when it comes out, it's going to be £80.
I would assume about that, yeah. But here's the thing. As I said, it's been about 13, 14 days. $300,000 was the goal. Currently, they're sitting at $2,460,747.
Which isn't the highest yet. They haven't broken the.
Don't believe it's the highest. I believe the highest I believe the highest is actually held by Exploding Kittens.
I'm pretty sure what did Dark Souls get up to?
Oh.
That was funded extremely quickly.
Yes.
I know that what we're talking about now, I forget, Rising Sun was funded very quickly as well.
Rising Sun was very quickly.
So Dark Souls asked for 50,000, so a lot less than
yeah. And it got
but they made just under $4 million.
Oh no, 3 million. No, that's pounds, mate.
Oh yeah, there you go. So they made $4 million.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is.
But it obviously shows that this, and I get what you're saying. This video game pre-order culture coming into tabletop gaming is obviously it's huge. You know,
it is huge.
Personally, I haven't ever kickstarted a board game. I was telling you a few days ago. There's only been one that I've ever thought about kickstarting, and it was just not having money at the time, which was Thunderbirds by Matt Leacock.
Yes.
Big fan of the IP.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of the designer. Co-op games in general, I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm. You see, Matt Leacock's made a children's. It's teamed up with a children's game, Mole Rats in Space. It's like a bit like Snakes and Ladders. It looks kind of cool.
He's a really good, varied designer.
Oh yeah,
he's
very
coming out
good.
with lots of really cool stuff.
Very prolific.
Nitwit, I really want to play. His word game.
Yes.
Sounds really cool. You know, I'm always interested in some cool word games, ways that something a bit different.
Something just a little bit.
Like code names, cool word game things.
I'm just thinking of games off my shelf back in my flat that I've got that were Kickstarter. Things like Flashpoint. Flashpoint was kickstarted. Brewcrafters, which I'll get into at some point. Worker placement game where you're making beer. That was kickstarted.
I'm trying to look at stuff that I've got. I really don't know.
I think Kill the Overlord, which is another small social deduction party game that I have. Have I played that with you?
No, not yet.
I think it's not a bad wee game. I think that was kickstarted. It's just becoming so much more prevalent, and we're seeing more and more.
I don't know if I have anything. I've got Cards Against Humanity. I'm fairly certain that was kickstarted.
Possibly.
But looking at my shelf, I don't think I've got anything that really was kickstarted. Mainly because they're from big names. You've got the Days of Wonder shelf there.
Yeah, the Days of Wonder shelf with Pandemic sneaking in there.
Most things I've got are Fantasy Flight games.
That's fine. Everyone's entitled to thing. But no, I just want to speak to you very quickly about this. Because you don't know about this. The new.
I heard about it, but I've purposely, because I knew you were talking about it, I purposely not looked into it.
The new announcement from Cool Mini or Not is
another one.
Another one. Yes, another one. So which is A Song of Ice and Fire, the tabletop miniatures game. Heading to Kickstarter in the third quarter of 2017 and retail stores in 2018. So again,
right, here we go. This is my point exactly. Right, there's box art. There's everything you need to know about the game. There's a lot of information there about the game.
We can see the box, and the box looks.
And it says starter set, Stark versus Lannister. It's got really nice art everywhere there. It's a huge box game, and it says heading to Kickstarter in the third quarter of 2017. Yeah, so they're doing 6 months promotion for a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah,
which is. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
This is exactly. It's incredibly indicative of the situation we're now. We're be excited because this is coming to pre-order later. for next year. Don't know why I'm so
Yeah, there's a lot of, and I suppose it is because they're a huge company. You know, I'm fairly definitely with that. You know, almost 3 million they're getting from well, they will get 3 million. I'm sure that will happen from Rising Sun. That they don't need to kickstart this. They've got the money to do that, but it's guaranteed sales, is what it is, and it pays for your production of it whilst that's happening, and it does make sense. It makes complete sense, I suppose, from a business point of view. I think it's an odd culture that we're getting into. You know, this kind of. Actually, what I think is really weird is because we live in a world which is so much of instant gratification.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that people are actually going back to paying for a product a whole year before they're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And paying a lot of money for a product. You know,
absolutely.
This is £100 a time. You know, Kickstarter things aren't cheap.
No. I mean, I've started. I mean, I've been kind of getting into for years. I haven't touched it, and now I've been getting into quite a few Kickstarters. I've done like
Kickstarted.
I've done like 4 or 5 Kickstarters.
Okay, see, I've done none.
I've done one for a video game that's not out yet. 2 video games that are not out yet. One's funded. They're both funded, but they're taking a while. Mm-hmm. One is a sequel to a game by Fail Better Games called Sunless Skies. It's a sequel to the game Sunless Sea, which I quite liked. It was sort of procedurally generated, I think based off its browser game called Echo Bazaar Fallen London, which is kind of cool. It's very kind of Lovecraftian, dark London. It's a text-based browser game. It's really good. Sunless Sea is good. You're going on a great undersea.
Yeah.
Or the Untersee on your boat, and you can go mad, and you can encounter lots of things, which are quite cool. The sequel, Sunless Skies, is set in space, and you're riding a space train.
Now, one thing you've kickstarted, I'm actually very excited about.
Which one? Because there's quite a few.
That one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's talk about this.
I'm going to count this in a second. Sorry, I don't mean to be cryptic. I'm just going to go through quickly. One is a game that's just finished called Tortuga 1667.
Cool. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's quite simple. It looks like a very simple little pirate game. I'm a bit of a sucker for pirate games. Not all of them. Just certain.
Pirates are cool.
I like pirates. It looks quite simple. It comes in a book. The game's going to be about
nice.
About a foot or so. It looks nice. A little bit of social deduction. Mm-hmm. A little bit of going against each other. It sounds like good fun. I also backed.
Sorry, what was that? Tortuga?
It's called Tortuga 1667.
1667.
Yes.
I'm just looking at it.
A pirate game of plunder.
Looks very cool.
Pirate game of mutiny, plunder, and deceit. Sounds excellent and very piratey. I also was instrumental, helped in kickstarting 7th Sea 2nd edition. 7th Sea, the role-playing game, the role-playing game. Mm-hmm. Originally, game from John Wick and AEG in late 1999. That was it. It's not Europe, with not Britain, not France, not Germany, not Spain, not Italy, not Russia, not half Dutch, half Vikings, and from 2nd edition, not Eastern Europe, kind of Poland.
Cool.
Area. I quite like, and this
happened a while back now. Didn't
it was last year. It was last year.
And you've got the stuff now?
I have got I pledged at a certain level. They asked for $30,000. They got $1.3 million.
You did not give them the whole $30,000 to yourself.
I did not. Sadly, not. That'd have been weird. No, I pledged for a hardback book. I got for PDFs, all the PDF stretch goals, and some physical things, and I've yet to receive the physical things, which is it's a deck of cards and a GM screen.
Cool. And when was the just out of interest, when did it say you would possibly get that? Just because we're looking at
absolutely.
the way Kickstarter works.
The estimated delivery for 7th Sea at the time was, I think they've said October 2016 for the books and stuff.
So it was 6 months on.
It was about 6 months and I got the core book at the beginning of August, late July, beginning of August.
Cool.
They rushed it out a little bit, I think. There are some things they could have tied up.
Now, you see, this kind of delay on things is something else I want to talk about. One that springs to my mind is Drop Fleet Commander.
Yes.
I forget the games company. I can see their logo in my head. Hawk
War Games.
Yeah. So that was a Kickstarter. Essentially a spiritual sequel successor to Drop Zone Commander.
Yep.
Miniatures game set in big, grand space fleet combat. Yeah. Some nice ideas in there. But essentially, you know, it was a Kickstarter campaign, did really, really well on Kickstarter. And a lot of people who ordered on Kickstarter didn't receive their stuff for a long time after it was out in shops. And it's like, why is that happening? Surely your
production. You could argue production costs. You
but
could
then
argue shipping
surely
things.
are the people who have funded your project not more important than the shops?
Possibly, yes.
Because these are people who ordered it, you know, sometimes 2 years ago. You know, it could have been ages ago. And, you know, I knew people who had just not done the Kickstarter, waited to get it in shops, and their friend who wanted to play the game is still waiting on the stuff that they pre-ordered, funded, like a year ago. Yeah. Which I think is quite a big problem for Kickstarter. I suppose
you can think of high-profile. There's some kind of high-profile for the wrong reasons. Things like the Alien versus Predator miniatures game, which was being put out by Prodos Games. There was people were waiting a long time for the maze. I don't think some people even got them. I mean, some of the reasons behind that was it was communications.
Yeah.
So there were issues. The guy who was developing it was Polish, so occasionally some communications got misattributed, or they got, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so sorry, I forgot my words today.
Just out of
misunderstood. There was a misunderstanding.
Out of interest as well.
And there was issues with the intellectual property as well, the licensing for it. So
you can actually go back and basically, I'm pretty sure all Kickstarter pages,
pretty much all the Kickstarter pages,
are still
should be able to.
You know, and you can see, you know, that they got backed and what all the stretch goals were and things like that. At the moment, the Alien vs Predator one just says this is a subject of an intellectual property dispute and is currently unavailable.
So yeah, I'm not.
It's just interesting things like that really. But then they've got a website, so I don't know.
I do not know.
I don't know. Anyway,
but again, it's everything. But yeah, but Seventh Sea was quite, very successful one. I'm hoping to look and I did play it very soon. I think it's not bad. I didn't back it, but the highest, I think one of the most successful board game Kickstarters ever, from the Oatmeal, Exploding Kittens.
Yep.
Asked for $10,000, got $8.7 million.
Now, right, I love the Oatmeal. This is the artist who came up with I really like his stuff. He's done some really good stuff, especially his infographics on people like Nikola Tesla and things are really, really cool.
Okay, yeah.
But to me, and as a person who plays a lot of games, a lot of good games, played a lot of bad games, and I've never played this.
No.
I've seen it played a lot.
Okay.
And I do not want to play it. Like, I just know, right, first of all, if you try and sell me a game on the fact that there's about cats, I'm not bothered.
No.
That's
another thing, but the theme's important.
But that's a personal thing. That's a theming issue, you know.
Yes.
Anything that's about cute kittens, kittens in a blender, cat tower. I've no interest straight off the bat in playing that.
Kittens in a blender is not a great game.
But it sells on the fact that it's cats.
And it's the Oatmeal.
So Exploding Kittens, it's essentially...
It's a take that game.
Yeah. And I don't know. Personally, I don't see the hype. I suppose getting into board games and getting into card games and stuff, and as a party game for people who, playing this very casually, then it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, it made tons of money.
Tons of money.
Another one, I forget what it was
called.
Are
they? I didn't know.
I was talking to someone. He backed it the other day.
Okay. And it's that again. It's that danger. You attempt to be. They made a not safe for work deck, the same game except with this dirty cards on it, dirty images, and it was that kind of trying hard to be funny, like a picture of like a pope giving people the fingers.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's kind of funny, and People with lots.
But that's the way Cards Against Humanity's going, which is like they've done so much of it now, and even in the base set, a lot of it was kind of like it's just grotesque for not.
That game goes between grotesque shock value and just the Beavis and Butthead style.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't occasionally enjoy playing it. Sometimes it's just there's a lot of times.
My opinion on it is it's a fine game, not like it's a fine game.
It's not fine. It's
not
just,
like Cosmic Counter. That's a fine game.
that's a well.
No, it's a fine game. If you play it with the people that you're comfortable playing it with, yeah. If you're just getting it out at a party and there's people you don't know or whatever, fair enough, it can be a bit odd and things. Anyway, so the next game, which I'm really excited to talk about.
The last game I have backed, which I'm actually quite excited for, is called Dinosaur Island. From the designers of Dead of Winter and Titans of Industry, a board game about creating the world's greatest dinosaur theme park. I wonder why I was sold on this. So it's a worker placement game from designers John Gilmore, who worked on Dead of Winter, Wasteland Express Delivery Service, and Brian Lewis, who did Titans of Industry. And
that's from the guys who made Machikoro.
Yeah, Pandasaurus Games are the guys who did Machikoro.
Played it the other day. Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah, Machikoro?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I've got it. I just played it the other day.
I think it's and that's a fine game.
It is. It's a really nice game. Anyway,
Dinosaur Island is a worker placement game. A dice rolling worker placement game where you are, fun enough, each making your own dinosaur-based theme park. I've got no idea where they got the idea of that from.
It's really innovative.
It's innovative. No one's ever done it before.
Sounds like an instant classic.
I think, I think they should make a film about that. Maybe make 1, maybe 2 films. I wouldn't go to 4, though.
I want 4.
You want 4?
I want 5.
You want 5? Ooh,
yeah.
bold claim there, bold claim.
I mean, reboot it after 3.
I'll reboot it after 3, and then the fourth one is just, we'll make it like the first one again, but just have nods to the rest of the franchise, make everyone go, So yeah, the game is you're creating dinosaurs, and you're getting this by rolling dice, which are special dice that have different looks of DNA on them.
Oh, they're custom dice.
Yeah, they're custom
dice.
Nice. I'll try and get them. They look lovely. And
cool.
What your role is, you roll, you put them on the board. You put them on the board. This is what this seems to suggest from the Kickstarter page. And different dinosaurs require different combinations of DNA to create. And you can create small herbivores as a big thing. So that goes all the way from little things up to like Brontosaurus. Small carnivores, you've got compies, probably up to like raptors or something like that, and then large carnivores. So you got your T-Rexes and your Gigantosaurus, or if they have a Gigantosaurus.
And the idea is you're then housing these in different areas around your park. You're doing
you're building paddocks for them.
You're working on like security measures and getting people in.
Apparently, to balance you're balancing your security and your enjoyment level, basically, because obviously things will go wrong.
And it says timescale on this game, like playtime.
Playtime. It's saying from this 1 to 4 players, 60 to 150 minutes, scalable length regardless of player count.
Nice.
Ages 10 and up. I'm not going to lie. Some previews have seemed generally positive. The artwork is very vibrant. They've gone for very bright, colourful things. Lots of very electric blues and pink and purple and that kind of bright neon yellow.
Can you just scroll down to the actual board? That picture just up there.
Yeah, and it's evoking that kind of that late 80s, early 90s. That visual style.
Yeah, it's got a very like late 80s neon
vibe to it.
Yeah, which is nice. That's what they're trying to go for.
But as well as dinosaurs, you're also making rides, and so there's a little bit of roller coaster tycoon style stuff. You're being like
seems really interesting. I'm as with these games, I'm always when we played Brewcrafters, when we played even something like Five Tribes, to be honest, it's like, right, if you've got all these different ways to score points and all these different ways to kind of eventually maybe win the game, are they all viable? That's the one thing I'm looking for. Do you just have to go for the big guys, or is it actually just good to do
I have actually double checked this.
A range of dinosaurs.
I can't remember where it is, but it's something along the lines of there's at the beginning of the game. There's a certain amount of objective cards that will get put out, and there'll be different ones. They've got like a stack of objective cards. You have 15 objective cards, and you'll put out a couple of them, I think, depending on player length.
Yeah.
And then when a certain amount of them have been hit, the game will end.
Okay.
So it's not like you're always working towards the same thing. It might be you have a certain amount of lab upgrades. You might have get X amount of dinosaurs, or have X many paddocks, have X many visitors, or hooligans who can mess up your thing. Although then let the dinosaurs free and eat them.
Okay. I'm really interested. I'm very happy this is something I will get a chance to play because you backed it.
Yep.
And it is funded.
Yes, it has been funded. It's got 5 days left.
Again, timescale on this game. When am I
They're saying
expected to
August.
be able to play this? That's really cool.
They're saying August. I really hope for that. It's going to be great. $15,000. They've got $301,000. 5 days to go.
It's not one of those major success stories we've been talking about.
That's fine. But
it's funded, and you're getting a game out of it.
I'm getting a game out of it, and if it's good, fantastic.
What were the pledge levels?
Pledge levels is there's only 2 pledge levels. There is Standard Dinosaur Island, 1 copy, all Standard Edition stretch goals, for $60. Which is, and you play about $25 to ship to the UK, so it's about $85 I'm paying, so it's about 60 odd quid, which is not bad. And there's $80 or more, which is the deluxe edition, which is a fancy box. You get metal money, you get a bunch of.
How much was shipping? Do you know?
It's about $25.
Okay.
See, I'm tempted to bump it up to
no, because I'm thinking
because they'll never because apparently they're not going to retail release.
And you can do that before.
Apparently,
that's cool.
I'm gonna try.
What I'm thinking here, and just my
go ahead.
My thoughts on this is: so you spend what £65 ish?
It's about 65 quid.
And it's right. How much is this game going to be when it comes out? By the looks of it, it looks to be.
It says it's going to be about $70 value for the standard one.
Oh, that's a lot of money for what it looks like. For a worker placement game, I think that's a lot of something that doesn't come.
What 35, 40 quid, which is pretty sound. Look at Agricola; they're still selling that for about 40, 50 quid.
No, wait. How much did you say it's going to be? Like,
I said
because I'd imagine this is going to be about £50.
I'd say, but it says $70 value. This is what, according to the Kickstarter page. Plus, but then again, you add $25 say for shipping. So it's about, so I'll be paying about $85. That's about 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm not happy about paying that amount for shipping, but The deluxe editions, you'll get metal coins, spot UV on the box, metallic ink, a numbered edition. It will never be reproduced for sale again. It gives you a bunch of the stretch goals, things like bigger dice. The deluxe edition will give you different dinosaur meeples.
See, I'd go for it. At the price that base game is,
yeah,
because I reckon you're already paying more for it than it would be in the shops.
It says paying less for it, but again, that's what they're saying.
Well, I think if you've paid £65 for that game already,
yeah,
I don't imagine that's going to be £65 in the shops, and if it is, I wouldn't buy it for that price.
But then if I'm paying $105 for the $85 or $80 plus $25, which is about 85 quid. I'm paying 85 quid for a game. I really don't want to pay 85 quid for a game.
No, completely. It's a tough one there, I think. And also they're charging, I suppose they're charging because, they're not a huge company.
Not really.
I don't know. Again, it's interesting, and I suppose this is why we're having this conversation about Kickstarter and things, because there's stuff they want to do that actually they'd only be able to do through Kickstarter. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I'm really looking forward to playing it.
Yes.
I'm
just going to stick with the standard. There's nothing making me go, I must have the deluxe edition, because it's just, some extra meeple, which are cool, but I'm not,
I'm sure you can get dinosaur meeples somewhere.
Exactly. And, if it's going to change the game that much by having the deluxe edition, then what's the point in putting...
Oh, the only difference, though, if you don't get the dinosaur meeples, do you just get cubes?
No, they're just all look like Triceratops.
Okay. That's all right.
That's all right, isn't it? 100 marker cubes, 24 limit cubes. Laptops, paddock. Yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
But there's one thing, I don't know. See, this is, okay, Kickstarter, you can get almost anything on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I found something the other day, and I'm very tempted to go for it, and I want to see what you think. It's a game called Cytosis, a cell biology board game. And this sounds like pure edutainment.
Mm-hmm.
A board game taking place inside a human cell. Players compete to build enzymes, hormones, and receptors and fend off attacking viruses.
I like it.
It's a worker placement game set
It
inside a
looks
cell.
nice.
It looks it's very vibrant colours. It's that there's I don't know.
It looks like a coral reef.
It looks like basically if you open a biology textbook at the description of a cell and they've coloured it in. It looks a bit like that.
So it's worker placement.
Worker placement.
You're fast becoming the worker placement man.
Apparently, I'm the worker placement man among us because I like 2 worker placement games and I funded a 3rd.
I'm thinking about funding a 4th though.
And technically a 4th.
Anyway,
And
I do like the look of this though. Has it been?
It's funded.
So it's been funded. So if you do pledge money, you're getting it.
You're getting it, yeah. I mean, it's they wanted 14,500.
Also, just in case people are wondering about, don't know much about Kickstarter, you fund money, and then that money actually only leaves your bank account once it's been funded.
Yeah. Oh, if it's funded, it will leave your bank account, and you'll get updates. I mean, I've been getting updates from the last couple ones. I actually got one today from the Tortuga one, which is just saying thank you for funding it. Here's how we're getting on. We've got some new components. Here's our new look at the board, which is quite nice. And I'm getting regular ones from Dinosaur Island as well. Said 5 days left,
Yeah. No, and I think to kind of wrap this up then.
Yeah.
It looks to be the way that this industry's going. I suppose you're always going to get those big names. Fantasy Flight are never going to do this.
You're always going to get in-house publishing. You're never just going to be purely Kickstarter. I think it's a great thing. I think just be careful. I mean, it's an obvious thing. I mean,
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting to see it going this way. Like I was saying about the whole being in a world of instant gratification, but actually this is huge. The fact that people are giving money to something that's going to come out in a long time.
Do you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going for it.
Going for it.
I am pledging live for you. I am pledging 1 copy of the Premium Collector's Edition. Now, why am I going for the Premium? It's only about.
It's $50.
It's $49. Includes custom wooden-shaped and silk-screened mRNA, protein, lipid, and carbohydrate resource tokens.
This is the content you want, people. This is live board game buying. We have never played a board game on this podcast.
Oh, it's $15. So it's only $64. That's all right.
But we're buying them now.
I'm funding it. It's fine. It's great.
That's complete. Wait, what was the $49?
The $49 was the premium version.
Yeah, but that's what you said you want to go for.
Yeah, and
so it's now coming up at $64. What's that?
because it's an American game, $15 for shipping.
Oh, that's the shipping on top of that.
Yeah, shipping on top of that. Don't worry about it. So yeah,
that's good.
So that's about 51 quid. That's not bad. It's all right for a game that's also getting me shipped over from.
So
America.
Right, premium edition.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I'm getting.
See, this is what happens when we talk about Kickstarter so much, and we get into what we really think about it and stuff, and then we end the podcast with literally just funding something.
What we get in the game: 6 protein hormones, 6 steroid hormones, 10 enzymes, 5 protein hormone receptors. 5. These are all cards. 45 player pieces, 30 ATP, adenosine triphosphate tokens, 60 macromolecules, RNA, ribonucleic acid, 12 carbohydrates, 12 lipid, which is fats, and 18 protein cubes. We've got lots of little cubes and a lot of cards, and 5 end game goals. I have no idea. This sounds kind of cool. But I will go for it because it seems the reception it seems to have got. It won the Stonemeyer Design Day highest rated game this year, which seems to be quite good.
Do you trust that?
Do you know what I do?
So if you'd never heard of the Spiel des Jahres and it said it won the Spiel des Jahres, would you fund that?
Oh, that's true. Fair enough. I know.
I just out of interest.
No, it's not. It's fair enough, man. Pain. I know. It's interesting if it messes up, Oh well, I've learned my lesson. So it's all right.
Well, I'm looking at funky Cthulhu dice now.
Oh man. Okay, enough of this. Come on, we want delivering.
Oh, but they're nice. They're really nice.
They are nice. Premium. We're delivering.
Do they come in that box?
I think they will come. Yeah, they come in the box.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do it, should I?
Yeah. This makes great.
See, I feel a bit jealous that you've now just kickstarted something, and now I want to do it. But I've
this makes great podcasting. We're just talking about things that we're watching.
I'm not doing Dinosaur Island.
Why not? Of course, because I've got it. I'm getting it. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
There's no point.
Okay.
Shall I fund the bee game?
No, don't fund the game called Bees. But
it was about rolling dice. I like rolling dice.
Who doesn't like rolling dice? before we head into, I think we're going to wrap up there a little bit. Before we head into pandemic,
which I've got nothing for, by the way.
That's fine, don't worry. I have one, so it'll be a short one. I think we're going to introduce a little segment called, it's kind of called, What We Playing.
Yeah.
Because we realised, we talk about all these things, say, we're going to play this game, and we're playing this game. We never come back to it. But we thought we'd give you a little update on what we're doing.
Shall I fund Luck and Love, a sinfully sexy game for daring couples? Yahtzee's sexy younger cousin. Ah, yeah.
For some reason, I thought that meant Yahtzee Pro Show for a second, and I was terrified. No. That looks terrible.
But I don't know. I might fund it.
Up to you, man. Up to you. So, what are we playing? So, we talked about Blood Bowl last time, and we've had the qualifier season, and now the league has started. I've played 2 league games.
Sexy
so far.
Yahtzee has free shipping in the UK.
Oh, gold. I've played 2 league games with Watik Thistle. How many have you played?
I've played a league game.
Did you get any qualifiers in?
I got 2 qualifiers.
I got 2. That's not bad.
It was alright. I leveled up some guys. I'm really enjoying Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get all my league games in. I'm going to try to as much as I can.
We need to get a game soon.
But the games I've played, it's good. It's good fun.
I've lost both my league games.
I lost a league game, but no one. But nothing bad came out of it, which is quite nice. My Rat Ogre leveled up, which I'm happy with.
My first game was against a guy. I was playing a human team that just had lots of mighty blow, and it was terrible.
Heard a couple guys dying.
No, I didn't. No, none of my guys died. Thankfully.
Some injuries though.
Injuries. No one had any serious injuries. Just 2 of my blitzers had to miss the next game, which was against dwarves, and I got stomped 2-0. But then one of my throwers did go a bit mental and just basically again do the same to a troll slayer. Mm-hmm. And thankfully one of my linemen, just in the middle of nowhere, caught a ball or found a ball in front of him. Picked it up, random lineman scored. He then made man of the match because he spent the rest of the game being targeted by the guy's ogre and just was not able to break his armor.
That's the thing. I'm having games which I'm not playing this to win in this Blood Bowl league. I'm just kind of
having a bit of fun.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm finding fair enough. I'm not winning. The last game I played it was 2-1 to the other guy. But actually, there's always eventful moments in the game, which is really nice. There's some nice Blood Bowl moment, and
it's always that moment of just Blood Bowl.
That's the thing. I'm probably the perfect opponent for this league as well, because I'm doing things which are I know I shouldn't do this, but it's Blood Bowl,
exactly.
So I'm gonna do this.
Who doesn't want
to
do that?
I'm 2 spaces away from the line. I can go for it twice to score.
It was you telling me during that qualifier game. Sam's gutter runner, movement 9, had the ball. Ran all the way up.
I fell over on the line.
He not only fell over on the line, he fell over and stunned himself on the line.
Yeah, I did that. Oh well. It's Blood Bowl, isn't it?
There's a comment, you're in it to win it. That's true, but also at the same time, you're in it to have a lot of fun.
That's all I'm doing with it. And I'm really enjoying it. On the back of the whole Games Workshop thing, what are we playing? Last time we were talking about not being miniatures games at all.
Suddenly we're playing a fair bit of minis games.
But suddenly I'm playing Age of Sigmar. I haven't actually bought anything for it yet. I had stuff sitting around from years ago that I kind of just built and painted and stuff. And I've been painting a few other things. Really enjoying painting at the moment, actually. I
need to paint all my orcs.
So I'm gonna start playing Age of Sigmar next week. See how it works. See if I enjoy it. Playing small battles. I'm not one for playing huge games. But we'll see how that goes, and it could be quite nice.
Sounds excellent.
Something else I'm playing?
I've been playing, for some reason, I've been playing quite a lot of K2.
Oh, no, I've played it 3 times now. I like it.
3 or 4 times, yeah. Those who don't know it, K2 is the world's second highest mountain. It's also, I think it's deadlier than Everest.
I think so.
For every 4 climbers who've gone up, 1 has died.
That is insane.
Yes. Up until last year, it had never been climbed in winter.
Oh.
Or never properly, scaled in winter. And the game was released in 2012. It's
something I'd heard about but never been too interested in, and then it kind of came into.
It was nominated for Spiel des Jahres, the Kenner Spiel, the what's the phrase? The connoisseur. Award.
Yeah, the adult game.
For adult in the more tactically astute game, and lost to a game which we're going to talk about much later. And it's about, it's card management, but you got 2 climbers and you're moving them up the mountains. You're dealing with the inclement weather and dealing with acclimatization.
It was just really nice, wasn't it?
It's
good
a
resource
good title
management.
game. The guy who designed it is he's a mountain climber, so there's a lot of real world knowledge. You can kind of see that, so it's not.
You can see he kind of thought about things that you'd have to think about, like the whole. Different places are going to use more oxygen than other places, and having to scale down sometimes before you can go back up. It was just nicely done, and I really enjoyed it.
And the idea that if you go ahead, if you barrel on ahead in front of everyone else, you're going to get negatives. Whoever does the most movement, usually forward movement, has to take some kind of penalty, and it's either 0, 1, or 2. It's a little token. And that's gonna seriously mess up your game plan. But also at the same time, you've got the weather that changes every single day. You've got 18 rounds in the game. It sounds long, it's really not. And sometimes it can be if
game plays about 2 hours, doesn't it?
No.
1.5 2 hours. It's
No,
1.5.
I'd say about an hour or so.
I don't know.
Really?
1.5.
Okay.
4-player game anyway.
A 4-player game, fair enough. I've played 2, 3, 4. I've not played 5.
I think I played a 5-player game.
Oh, that's cool.
It was good.
Yeah, but it's like if you're above 7,000 meters, say, you're going to get this amount of weather. You're going to get bad weather, and you're going to lose.
Yeah, and the weather changes depending on where you are on the mountain.
Yeah, which is good, and then that's very, very tactical. And all your things, all your movement and your acclimatization is done via card management.
Yeah, it was just a really nicely done game, and I think it was good to play something that was. I think it was good to play something that wasn't new, which was nice for change. Just come across this game that actually. It's just really nice and simple as well. There wasn't explaining it is very quick. It's at its basis, it's just a very simple card game, really.
Yeah.
You're just playing a couple of cards and you're just doing what it says on those cards. I liked it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. What have you been playing?
I've been playing. Spent yesterday sorting cards and playing Arkham Horror.
Of course.
I know I've talked about it and everything. I'm kind of just working through it on my own at the moment, failing badly, but hey, it's Arkham, so that's natural, right? It's good. It's good fun. Nice story-driven game. I know who my character is. I know what I can do. I know what cards I want for my deck. Leveling up my deck is, slightly again there. I played one of the print-on-demand scenarios yesterday, which is set at a masquerade carnival in Venice.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Which was really nice. I got a bit lucky and then died at the end.
It's always the way.
Really nice game. If we ever talk about it more in depth, I'd love to. I won't right now. Go and play Arkham Horror LCG if you like Cthulhu stuff, but also if you like card games and role playing games. It's getting that role playing fix on your own, which is quite nice.
Uni's been very busy. I've been trying to get
for
the Star Trek one because we need to.
Oh, of course,
need to get it because I got the email about feedback and I was like, I know this. We might have to substitute in a player or two, but that's all right. I should be able to get the next week or two, hopefully.
Awesome.
So what else have you been playing? I've been playing that. You've been talking a lot about Scroll, which is from Big Potato Games, which is basically Chinese Whispers meets Pictionary, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah. You did have a little game with it.
I had a little game, and I enjoyed it.
I played it with 8 players, first time I played it. And literally, I'm putting it as the best party game I've ever played.
Wow. Really?
Party game, yeah. It was Concept. I really enjoyed Concept, and I thought Concept was a great game. Scroll has now overtaken that.
Okay.
Just in simplicity, and in just the fun we were having. And literally, I was laughing so hard it properly hurt.
There was
I was in pain from that game, and it was great.
I thought it was a pretty enjoyable, pretty good game.
So I don't know whether.
But
the idea, just for people to know quickly, everyone's got a whiteboard. Everyone has a phrase in front of them. You can choose from 4 phrases on one card, and you draw what that phrase says. So if it says "gone fishing," say, for example, you just draw someone having a little fish.
Well, the one I got cost an arm and a leg. Very simple one, and I just simply drew a price tag with
an arm and a leg,
a pound sign, an arm plus a leg.
Everyone then passes their whiteboard onto the person clockwise to them, who then looks at that picture, puts a little kind of erasable pad
Another
over the top.
another little dry marker, but thing. On board.
And writes what they think that is, the words of what they think that is, passes that on to the next person who draws that, passes it on to who writes what that is, and you get this Chinese whisper effect going around. And I would say play it with 8 people, which is the maximum it comes in the box. You could, by means, you could build it yourself and
we
play
played with what,
loads.
5?
5 to 6 we played it with, and it worked. It's just nice to have that extra go round.
Yeah.
I think the longer it goes on for, the funnier the funnier things you're gonna get back.
I mean, we had a lot of silly shenanigans. I mean, I'm trying to think of stuff. Stupid things. I mean, I think someone had. I think it was your dad had Raised by Squirrels, and it was totally misinterpreted. And I ended up putting Pikachu in a lift.
Yes.
I wrote Pikachu in a lift because the person, it was you who had drawn it, because
it was a squirrel, it wasn't Pikachu.
It didn't look like a squirrel.
I could draw Pikachu if I wanted.
I bet you could, mate. I bet you could. And then we had these wonderful, like, miniature pieces of art from Craig, who was
That's actually
playing.
a game that I think if we could
Live stream?
if we could do some live streaming of games, that's definitely one I think would work quite nicely.
Yeah.
But obviously for that, because it's drawing and stuff, it's setting up cameras and stuff that
You would have to be. It might
could
have to have
work
multiple
though.
cameras.
Could work.
But yeah.
Anyway, but that's been episode 5 of the Meeple People podcast.
I've got. I'll do Pandemic very quickly itself.
Okay, then I just need to cut to the little segment music.
Okay.
So, Pandemic. What have you got?
Right. Okay. Pandemic, by the way, itself probably the best pun we've ever done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also like, because we came up with that one as well.
Exactly. It's a really bad one. Okay. Sam, I'm gonna need you to read in this one. It's a.
Oh, it's this 2-part.
It's a 2-parter joke. It's not good. Okay. Last night, my girlfriend finally agreed to play a board game.
Jamaica?
No, it was her idea.
Boom! I actually really like that. Did you come up with that?
No, of course I didn't.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame. Suggesting that we've been doing do Scroll and Gloom as a live stream.
Gloom is definitely one I'd like to do as a live
Yes,
stream.
I
I think those storytelling games would work really well because
Absolutely.
you don't necessarily have to have camera. You know, we could actually just do that.
You don't need to see all the
yeah,
cards.
it'd be really nice. Also, something possibly even Arabian Nights if you're looking for a big board game. You know, storytelling elements and stuff where actually what people are doing doesn't come into it too much. Something like Once Upon a Time, I think, could work really well.
Well, Once Upon a Time would do very well.
Yeah.
Just again, the right people, so it doesn't turn into farts and incest again.
Anyway, as always, we hope you found this informative.
Yes. And shenanigans.
Send us emails and possibly board games at meeplepeople.podcast@gmail.com.
Yes, meeplepeople.podcast@gmail.com.
That's meeplepeople.podcast@gmail.com. You sure that's right?
I'm sure that's right.
Cool.
And thank you very much. Again, if you like what you hear, if you don't like what you hear, if you think we're talking absolute bollocks, if you don't like our chant, if you want things that you want us to talk about.
Oh, and Jamie's just got an email through from Kickstarter saying, thank you for backing Cytosis.
But this episode was based on a message from a listener, a watcher by the name of a man who goes by the name of Digby, and suggested talking about Kickstarter.
Does he?
Well, every time he calls himself Digby.
Anyway, yeah.
But so let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We've got ideas, but we want to hear what you want to say, and we value your input.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes. Have a good time. We'll see you in a couple of
I'm
weeks.
still Sam.
And I will continue for now to be Jamie.
And we are Meeple People
Podcast.
See you later.
Bye. Ha 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 ha